Game Changers 360, a show where we're going to talk about nothing but the success stories of various luminaries who are doing amazing within their areas of specialization. My name is Mubu, Dillon Mubu, but you can simply call me the Game Changer. Today I'm joined by someone so special, a game changer, no one other than Jerry Nyazungu. I think I'm going to get in trouble by calling him Sir. Why? Because I remember you said there are issues with that name. Thank you, sir, for joining us for this show.
Thank you, Mubu, for having me.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so before we get started, please introduce yourself. Who exactly is Mr. Jerry Nyazungu?
Okay, thank you very much. So Jerry Nyazungu is not someone who is very special. I'm just a normal human being, a simple guy. That's why I like to call myself even a vendor up to now, because I believe that everything which you do in life is vending. So I'm a former vendor. I'm the current CEO of M&J, which is a group with 3 companies. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, I want to take you back a little bit. I see chartered vendor appearing a lot on your posts and social media. Tell us more about that, chartered vendor.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, I started off as a vendor because when I came to Harare, I think, okay, let me take it back. I didn't go to university. I never went to any university. So soon after finishing A level, I had to go for temporary teaching at Wonder Valley in Nyamingura Secondary in Wonder Valley. Then I taught for about 8 months. Then I said, no, I think this is not in me, because I had an opportunity to do about 3 years. But I said, no, let me leave this and go to Harare. So when I came to Harare, I didn't have close relatives. Yes, I had my relatives, but they were not so close. But those relatives, they actually helped me they gave me where to stay, and I started working for 8 months for about another 8 months. Then when I stopped, when I was retained at 8 months, because my contract actually finished, I think in June 2006. And also my cousins, they said, no, you have to find your own space. I think that was the same time. So on the 1st of July, I had to embark into a painful journey, because I couldn't go back to Mtare, because I'm originally from Mtare. I couldn't go back to my parents. All of them, they're still alive, but the fighting spirit in me was saying, no, I can't go to them and say I failed. So that's when I decided to be a vendor. I was given my 4.5 million RTGS. That was Zim dollar by that time. Or you rather call them bond notes. I don't know the term which they're calling them, in 2006, thereabouts. So I had to divide the money. The other half I had to use it for rentals. The other half I had to use it for vending. So that's where the chartered vendor is actually coming from. That was a turnaround. That was a game changer, according to you, of my life, to say, no, I think this guy is in the streets. There's a lot which you can learn. I used to be an introvert. I learned to interact with people as a vendor. I also learned how to sell PR, human resources, because that's when I first recruited my first employee as a vendor at the age of 19 years old. So even right when I graduated as a chartered secretary, I said, no, I'm not a chartered secretary. I'll still remain a chartered vendor. I'll stand for the streets. I know the pain which these guys are going through, the rough pain, these guys in the streets. And I know that most of them, they're actually intelligent, but sometimes they don't have the opportunities like people who go to universities. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow. I hope that other vendors get an opportunity to watch you speak and share your story. This could trigger a lot of emotions and help them to aim for the stars. One thing that I like is you talk about picking yourself when you fail, and always, again, aiming to be a game changer and to move on, which is amazing. Please share with us now more about what exactly is M&J Consultants. What exactly do you do?
Okay. M&J, we've got 3 companies now. We started with M&J Consultants in January 2015. I think, to be specific, we registered the company on the date for when my firstborn came to our lives. I think it was 19 November 2014.
Wow.
So that's when we registered M&J. and it was called M&J Consultants. It's my second name and my second name.
Alright.
So, and I was working alone. So the vision was to say, no, what can I do? What can I contribute into the economy? I think those actually, I used to speak too much about the political space in my country. So I just said, but I'm not a politician. What can I do? I think I can do the business side better than the politics. I'm not a politician. I never did any politics. But with the business side, I knew that I had the strengths. I think at the age of 10 years, I used to say I wanted to be an accountant. And right now, I'm a public accountant. So I said, no, I think I can fare well in accounting or a business rather than. So when we started M&J, we're just doing the simple company registrations, the basic accounting, the basic bookkeeping. That's when you notice that no, entrepreneurs are actually struggling. They need a lot of solutions. So even right now, as we speak, every day we've got an innovation committee, and their duty is to actually get something out there which can help an entrepreneur. I think most of our standards, even the way we operate, this year we say it is every day at M&J, whereby we're operating daily at M&J. These are standards we're taking from America, we're taking from Europe, we're taking from China, from the Middle East. So we are saying we need to bring that at home. So as M&J, we are saying, as we are consultants, we are not just going there to do their books, but we are going there to take care of their marketing, to take care of their HR, to take care of their sales. Hence, we now have 3 subsidiaries, which are also M&J Tech and M&J Media. M&J Media also does, we do marketing, we do sales, we've got experts who are here. We also do video. I think we've got 2 videos which are appearing on ZBC. They were done here. So we also have got M&J Tech, which does computers and printers. And then all these are being asked by our clients. So if a client asks for something and they keep on repeating the song, like many people are constantly asking for laptops, those also implement softwares. So when we're doing softwares for accounting or for sales, the guys will say, why can't you supply the hardware? That's when they say, no, let us register M&J Tech. So each and every business which we have, or each and every department which is here, it wasn't started by me, it wasn't my idea, but most of it is what the clients are asking for. So anything which they're asking for, we are ready to actually provide them. And our goal is to have at least 3 companies listed on stock exchange. The companies we register from scratch, like taking your company operating as an individual, then you need to go public, just like Econet. That's our dream, to create more strives, Masiwas.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I like the camaraderie as well as the warm welcome that I got when we got here.
Yeah.
And we were taken for a tour, got to meet your team members. Tell me something. How many employees do you have currently? And maybe how were you able to build such a wonderful team?
Okay, currently, thank you very much. Currently, I've got about around 40. I think it's 40 minus 1 or plus 1, because we need also to recruit 2 people. I need salespeople. I'm in love with sales. I'm an accountant by profession, but I don't think I'm still an accountant. My heart has been taken by sales. So every day I'm hunting for salespeople. So currently I actually need two salespeople. So how did we manage to build such a team? It's because whenever we see, like right now we've started HR, we go and hunt experts in HR, then we bring them here. The way we do things is actually unorthodox. It's not something which is normal. Even having a discussion with a normal business person, sometimes the way we do things, people they say we do things is extreme. Like even for our interviews, we can ask you to run. Even when you're an accountant, we can ask you to run. We can ask you to wash a car. We can ask you to clean plates, just to test that attitude, because we need someone who is humble, someone who is going to smile to each and everyone who actually come to M&J, because we're trying to build a culture. So this organizational culture that's the reason why we are where we are. It's not me. It's because of the guys who I work with. I've got a wonderful team which is here. But in developing such a team, because we usually call ourselves 10X team. Because whatever we do, we are not doing it normally. Like here, every day, everyone is here at 7:30. And I think most of our guys, they actually live here at around 1800 hours, which is not normal in a normal setup. So sometimes in trying to recruit other people, some of them they fail, which is very normal because we know that 10x is not for everyone. There's no way we are going to remain like this. Someone is going to quit. So we need to constantly replace, because I believe that the A players are out there. So but they are very difficult to hunt for, and sometimes and A players are actually cheap. Amazingly, the performers here, if I tell you even their salaries which they proposed when they came here, you actually laugh to say, no, a person who can do such a wonderful job is asking for something like $100. Then you are amazed. But those who come with huge salaries, normally they don't deliver anything. So that's how we manage to build. And every day we train at 7:30. Every day I make sure that I lead that training. Every day we're doing sales training, because I believe that everyone here is supposed to sell. So that's how we manage to build this so-called wonderful team, if you can say.
Thank you so much. I can say you were successful with those principles in building up the team. I could see some of the values, the culture that you're mentioning just by meeting them. Okay, so looking at most of the entrepreneurs, especially those who are starting, they always look at the current prevailing social, economic, and political environment as one which is not fit for business. But we can see companies like yourselves thriving. So what advice would you give to people who want to start, but they're always finding, the environment being an excuse?
Yeah, thank you very much for that wonderful question. I think if I could tell someone who wants to start, or someone who is already doing business, as a businessman, even if I get a newspaper today, I only read business news. I don't dwell too much into politics. Leave politicians to do their own politics. Don't quit always giving excuses, because it's not the responsibility of the politicians to change this country, but it's the responsibility of the business people, not the successful ones like the Tinashe Mtaris, the Philip Majaranikas of this world, the Gillian Rusikes of this world. No, but we are saying you as a young person, you can change the fortune of Zimbabwe. So what we are saying now is you don't have to draw too much into politics. Leave politics for politicians. Quit giving an excuse. I'll give you an example. There's someone who was giving an excuse last year to say, I don't have any money in my account because of COVID-19. Is it real? Did this person had money prior to COVID? Human nature is good at giving excuse. So you rather have something happens because of you, something doesn't happen to you. So you should have that mentality to say, no, if it's an accident, I'm the one who caused that accident. I would rather cause an accident than me being hit by another car. No. So we are saying take responsibility, good or bad. Our youth these days, they complain too much. Even when I was working as a vendor, most of my friends, they had to go down south. They left. Because why? They were busy blaming the country. But here we are, after about 14 years, we're still under the same the same status quo. The economy is still struggling. Yes, our leadership is trying to I don't think there is a father who needs his sons or his daughters to suffer. These guys, they're trying their best. But what we're saying now, it's not time to give excuses. As business people, as young entrepreneurs, it's our duty to make our country successful. Even if there's going to be a war, we should actually say, as business people, we can conquer, we can help our economy, we can help our leaders, then we can build a business, a Zimbabwe which you want. If we start blaming the economy, there's no way you are going to look in yourself and say, can I actually check the internal factors? You're not depending on the external factors. Like here, I don't want any of my sales people who complains about the external factors. I don't want anyone who says we afford to do something because of the economy. because of COVID-19. Even if our sales are low, it's because of us. It's never because of the economy. It's never because of COVID-19. It's not because of the client. We never blame a client. If something goes wrong, it's because of us. We go to the table and see where we did wrong, where we were correct, and try to actually correct that. So that's the mentality I say to each and every entrepreneur. Stop listening to negative news. Negative news is mostly found in radios, on television. I'm sorry to say this, most of the people, they like watching television, but I think those are the biggest sources of negative news. If you see in the world, breaking news, it's mostly negative. If there are millions and millions of flights which were successful, but if you've got one wrong flight, it's a breaking news. And where they are now moving, the black box has been found. It's breaking news the whole week. Why? Because it's negative. If you've got a president who is doing well, like President Magufuli when he was alive, most of the people, they didn't even know him. That President Magufuli from Tanzania, they didn't celebrate him when he was alive. But when he died, it was breaking news the whole world. So we are saying these guys, they're mentions of negative news. So to stop doing that, you need to take books like this. These are the source of inspiration. So I would say, every entrepreneur, we have to read books. You have to find something which is positive. Go to if you are not a reader, I know most of the people, they can say, reading is very hard for me. Sometimes even an audio book, he doesn't want an audio book. But what? You've got YouTube. Go there. Look at your Brian Tracy is there. Zig Ziglar is there. You've got your Grant Cardones. You've got your Steve Harvey. You've got a lot of them. Those who are giving inspiration. Your TD Jakes. There are a lot of them. Go there, find something which is positive, quit complaining, don't be a sissy.
I was going to add on that list. You've got your Jerry there. You're always posting, isn't it? Okay, no, thank you so much. So I think the other question that I had is with regards to the success stories. So I think if we were to touch on those, you've got many, and people think it was a rosy journey. So I would want you to share with us maybe one of your biggest failures, so that people really get to know that, you know what, it's not usually a very straight journey. You also maybe get to stumble during the journey. Is there any of your failures that you are willing to share?
Yeah, I think I fought many times, and I don't regard myself as successful yet.
Okay.
I think if you say the journey I've traveled so far, maybe I'm still at 3%. I'm still learning. Yeah, every day when I take a book like yours, if I read something, that's when I actually say, I realize that I don't know. I have to, every day, like my car, I converted my car to be a moving audio library. So I don't listen to music, I don't listen to radio, I listen to audiobooks. So when I'm reading a book, maybe it's for the second time, third time, then I say, I don't even know anything. So regarding of being as successful, I think we're 3%, we're still at the foundation level. We have finished the foundation, maybe we're now starting to build. Because we want to build something which is very big. We need to go far. I believe that we can play a part in actually even helping our leaders in changing the fortunes of our economy. So when it comes to your question, I want to say, how many times have I failed? I failed many. I will just give you an example. When I was starting alone, I think my first employee was actually my blood sister. She left, she's now doing her own. I wanted to buy a car. I think 3 months into the business, because I recruited my first 3 weeks into the business, I recruited someone. Because I believe that in any business, in order for any business to thrive, you have to bring a team, you have to build a team. So when I was trying to build a team now, you as a consultant, you're visiting clients, then you're always in dust, and you're saying, no, let me try to buy a car. So we deposited the car. Then I got a serious shocker when one of my clients came to me. I didn't have experience during that time to say, no, you don't have to borrow your client. So I give this client about around 1,300 US. And this client was a Zambian, a good guy, an amazing guy, a good businessman, and he looked successful. And when I first gave him $500, he gave me back. But when I gave him the 1,300, it disappeared. And that was the money I was supposed to use for duty. And I ended up actually borrowing. And that money never returned. I only recovered $100 until I said, no, let me give up and move on. So what I'm saying is, you fail, you stumble. Even right now, in trying to build a team, you can lose some of your best people. So I've learned that, no, in order for me to, I don't have to depend on people. I have to depend in a system. So right now that's why I'm saying we are still at 3 to 5%, because I'm yet to be satisfied that we have built a system which can thrive beyond me, because I don't want to be here for too long. I want to leave and someone else will take over. Then maybe I'll be chairman or just a shareholder in ordinary and pursue other activities. I believe that sometimes if you run an organization for 10, 15 years, you have to leave and you have new blood to come in, because maybe your ideas have been exhausted. So what I'm just trying to say is, you need to build a team. In order to build a team, that's the most difficult thing of any entrepreneurs. I've failed many times in that category. And we are still even trying to build a wonderful team. So failure, I think every day I'm always hunting for failure. Every day I'm looking for failure. If I don't fail, I'm not satisfied. It means I'm doing something which is easy. Because even when you're driving, it means when you're not driving fast enough, you should be afraid when you're driving fast enough. So we believe that you should be fast enough in order for you to experience failure. So every day, instead of us avoiding failure, we are looking for failure.
Wow.
Even at M&J, I think my pinned group on WhatsApp is actually one of customer complaints, because I know that when the organization is failing, I'm the one who has to address all those complaints. So if a customer complains, no matter at which level, I'm going to address it by my own. I don't delegate on that one. So that's failure for me.
Thank you so much. Wow, I'm picking a lot of issues to do with teamwork, team spirit, agility, moving with speed, good customer relations there. No wonder why you are where you are. But maybe to put the business aside, to get on to, I'm excited as an author myself that you're going to be launching a book. Maybe could you tell us more about that? What exactly is that? Starting with the title of the book and what's in there. And I'm not shocked, because I've heard you talk about being someone who's very much in love with books. So now tell us about yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I think I was actually inspired to write this book by my one of my virtual mentors. I think it's Grant Cardone. Then I think you were saying, why can't you, instead of you constantly watching people playing a game, why can't you go and actually join? Inspired to write this book by one of my virtual mentors, but the people actually pushed me to write. I said, no, I think I'll write maybe after 2 or 3 years. I still have a lot of books to read in order for me to write. And to make matters worse, I'm a literature dropout, because I didn't like to write. I think the only book I had read in my life was Mufos Sage. Yeah, I think it was in JC around there. I didn't want to write, I didn't want to read. So I was actually inspired by this other guy called Tamuka. He's the one who came with books and said, I was constantly asking, your ideas, where are you getting them from? Then that's when he gave me this book, and there's a guy also called Alex Masedi, he also gave me a book. And I think the first book was How to Be a Rainmaker. I was in a flight to Zambia, and I had a chance to actually listen to that audiobook. Wow. And I think he was pointing all my problems which I had, especially in sales, and saying, why are we not increasing our revenue? Were written in that book. That's when I started falling in love with reading books. The whole lockdown last year, I was doing books. By the way, I didn't start reading. I think I've got a year or a year and a half of reading books, but I've read more than 60 to 70 books in that period of time. So coming to my book, The Shattered Vendor, the guys just say, I wrote a small story of my life. And this guy, they said, why can't you write a book of this? And everyone, when I wrote that story, a small story, I think it was about the struggles of me being beaten by police. First I was a vendor, Then I think that was one of my most engaged posts on Facebook. And the guys at M&J pushed me to write a book. And the title Chartered Vendor simply means I'm a chartered secretary by profession. I'm a company secretary by profession. I'm actually an associate with the Chartered Institute of Royal Secretaries. The vendor part, I didn't want to remove the vendor. So I'm just saying I'm now a better vendor. Simple. I'm now just inspiring someone who is in the streets currently to say, this situation is not permanent. You can easily turn it over. I think most of the people, if you're selling sweets, selling bananas, I think that's you'll be someone who is actually, no one wants to speak to you. Like right now, the friends I'm now getting right now, they are not the real friends. But when you're a vendor, you get the people actually like you. No one likes you. Even sometimes you lose girlfriends, you lose friends, you can even lose relatives, like in my case. So what I'm saying now is, The Chartered Vendor is a book which is actually speaking about my story from when I left my days of school. I didn't start failing as in business. I think I was asthmatic. In my life, from grade 1 to grade 7, I was the only one who was allowed to wear tracksuits even during the weekdays, because I was very sick. Me and my brother, we were sick and we were not allowed to play any sports, and I was a good sportsman during that time. So when it's actually explaining my journey from primary up to now when we managed to build M&J basically. And there are also business lessons which I have learned over past years in terms of hiring, in terms of sales, in terms of marketing, in terms of leadership. That's why I don't even want to call myself sales or a boss, because I believe that the moment you call yourself with that name, that janitor, she's not free, or he is not free to give you ideas, because they think you are the boss. So Mr. Maybe is better. Jerry, that's why I even want to call. Most of the people, they know me as Jerry, they don't even know my surname. Yeah, because I also believe that calling myself with a surname is kind of giving me a huge respect, which I think, no, it's not the right way of doing things. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nyazungu. We could spend the whole day just listening to the nuggets that you've got to share with us. But maybe to just wrap up this interview, could you please share with us what advice would you give to a 21-year-old out there?
Okay, thank you very much, Mubu. I think on that one, a 21-year-old, I'll say to them, number one, quit chasing degrees. Most of the people, they've criticized me. Quit chasing. If you want to be a medical doctor, you have to be an expert. But if you want to be a business person, I think the reason why even our medical doctors are still better in this country is because they go for practical lessons. But you find out that someone who is doing accounting, someone who is doing business administration, there are people who are even doing entrepreneurship, but they've got no clue what entrepreneurship is. They don't even know how to run a tuck shop. And to make matters worse, they are being taught by a doctor who doesn't have any experience to run a tuck shop. So it's very difficult. I will never tell you how to be a millionaire before I become a millionaire. It's impossible. I will never preach about being a billionaire when I don't even know how to experience how to be. It's like teaching someone to say money is evil when you don't have money. So I will say to that 21-year-old, quit chasing degrees, chase knowledge. You have to be intelligent practically, not theoretically, number one. Number two, they should quit drugs, are bad for them. They should quit. They should attend. They should go to church. They shouldn't let church or the church leaders get into them. That's the biggest mistake people are making. It's now you have what. That's why even our churches in Africa, they are full, because we now depend so much on church. I'm not saying church is bad, but what I'm saying now is you shouldn't expect church to give you money. You work for money. Don't give God the burden to look after you. God can look after you spiritually. There's some things which you have to control by yourself. For example, if you want to make money, God has given us 5 senses. We have to work very hard. that cannot be substituted. But when it comes to maybe our health care, now we can now pray to God. So what I'm saying is, people should quit being so dependent, especially on church leaders. I think we've got a lot of stories which are being written on daily basis about prophets, etc. Because people are being used, because people are being taken advantage of. They don't know that the only way to be successful is by working hard. There's no substitute for that. Then lastly, I would like to say they should quit blaming, like what we said. Quit blaming politics, quit blaming COVID-19, quit blaming your mother, quit blaming your parents. Just take the responsibility. Being successful is your duty. It's not someone's duty. And in order for you to be, if you look at, even if you read Jeff Bezos' story, if you can take Strive Masiwa's story, if you're going to listen to Tinashe Mtari's story, even if you listen to these other footballers who are successful, like Tino Kadawire, these people, they've gone through something else. Everyone has got a story to tell, but it just depends whether you're brave enough to tell your story. Then maybe on other issue, I would like to educate them to learn to read books. That's where most of the secrets are kept, not academic books. They shouldn't learn in order for them to score a result, but they should learn in order to apply in their day-to-day running of their lives. That's what I want to say to them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm sure after listening to this, a lot of people want to get in touch with you. They also want to get services here at M&J. Please share with us your website and how people can get in touch with you or your teams.
Okay, I think my personal website is jerrynyazungu.com. Then on Facebook is Jerry Nyazungu. On Instagram is Jerry Nyazungu. LinkedIn is also Jerry Nyazungu. Then my number is 0773 382 136. Everyone, feel free. We can have a discussion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jerry Nyazungu, for spending a few minutes for such an amazing discussion. I'd like to believe our listeners out there and viewers also managed to pick a lot of nuggets from your story. So allow me to just turn to our viewers. So that's Mr. Jerry Nyazungu's story. From there, I hope you're inspired and motivated in order to go and create your own story. No human is limited, and maybe just to take a few nuggets from the interview, never act like a victim. Remove that victim mentality from your head. So again, my name is Dylan Mubu, but you can call me the Game Changer. You were listening or viewing to Game Changers 360. Until next time, it's bye-bye for now. Do remember to leave a comment, your suggestions, and what you'd want us to do better, or maybe some of the people that you'd want us to interview, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you.